Hi, I'm Simon Cohen. I'm a teacher, trainer and actor, and today we're going to look at teaching grammar in a fun and engaging way. Young children are very good at working things out, whether it's building a toy, putting a jigsaw together, or working out where you've hidden the chocolate biscuits. They can make good detectives. So when it comes to grammar, we can also put their detective skills to good use. The trick is to make the challenge fun, and also to make it very visual. The grammar tables and bright academy stars are color-coded. The colors help characterize the different parts of speech, and we can bring these to life even more by getting the children themselves to represent them. In the affirmative sentence, like is highlighted in blue. So, how many children in your class are wearing blue? Choose a couple of the children who are wearing blue to come up to the front and stand next to the board. Then, invite another small group of children up, making sure that there's a mixture of boys and girls. They can be the subject pronouns, so they should stand to the left of the blue group, viewed from the front. Lastly, invite a third group up to stand to the right of the blue group. They represent food items, so give each of them a food flashcard. Now, you can invite the other children in the class to make human sentences. In turns, they point to one child in each group who will say their word out loud. For example, I like grapes. Repeat this a few times. Next, you can challenge the rest of the class in pairs to remember as many of these sentences as possible in 1 minute. Then, invite a fourth group up who are wearing red. They represent the auxiliary verb don't. Place them between the subject pronoun group and the blue verb group, and repeat the activity. Finally, tell the children with flashcards to hide their flashcards. Then challenge other children in the class to come forward in pairs. One of them points to 4 different children, one from each of the groups. Their partner has to say the sentence that those pupils represent, from memory, as the flashcards are hidden. The rest of the class have to decide if they are correct before the flashcard is revealed. It's a simple activity, but it helps to cement the idea of sentences being made up of different parts, and to consolidate the target structure while playing. For slightly older children, learning grammar can still be fun and exciting, even with a little bit of complexity added to the mix. Word tennis can work with all age groups and levels. But if your learners have pre-intermediate or intermediate level, they'll have the language to make it work really well. It's an engaging and fun activity that is easy to set up. Plus, it's a great way to reinforce grammar concepts through play. Let me show you. Divide the class into pairs and give each pair a blank sheet of paper. Imagine you're teaching there was and there were, affirmative and negative forms. Start them off with the word there. Pupil A writes this down and passes the piece of paper to pupil B, who adds a word, either before or after the first word. For example, word. They continue to take turns adding a word. The idea is to keep adding to the sentence without finishing it. Whoever finishes the sentence loses. But they can redeem themselves if they can say the entire sentence from memory. Then they can start again. Listening detectives is a perfect activity for helping older children decode more complex grammar by scaffolding the process. But that doesn't mean that it can't be simplified and done with lower levels. Read a sentence that includes the target grammar at a normal pace. For example, if you're looking at the passive voice in the past simple tense, your sentence could be, "My computer was hacked last night." Challenge your learners to work out how many words are in the sentence. You can do this as a think, pair, share activity, giving them time first to think, then compare ideas with a partner. Read the sentence again and give them time to come to an agreement. Then each pair can come together with another pair and share their conclusion for a final check. While they're doing this, you can hand out a blank sheet of paper to each group of 4. When they've had enough time to agree on a number, they should write this number of dashes on the piece of paper. Read the sentence again and tell them to listen out for the verb. If this is the passive, how many parts will the verb have? That's right, 2. They should write these above the correct dashes on the piece of paper. Next, they should listen out for the time phrase and do the same. And finally, the subject. When they've all had a reasonable enough amount of time to complete their sentence, repeat the process with a new sentence. Once they've got the hang of it, they can continue playing among themselves in their groups. Give each pair a list of sentences practicing the same grammar point. They can read these out one after the other, and both work on them at the same time. Set a time limit for each stage so that groups are working at the same pace. For lower levels, you could choose simpler sentences and read them more slowly. Activities such as these encourage children to observe in detail, to think about what they already know, and to work out an explanation, to use their eyes, their ears, and their brains. They're growth mindset activities, which create a motivating challenge. This enables the teacher to focus explanations and practice on exactly what's needed, rather than reteach the whole point. They also increase children's accuracy within a framework of developing communicative fluency. For more activities like these, remember to check out Bright Academy Stars 2nd edition, the brand new Macmillan education book, especially designed for young learners and academies.